Off-season coaching changes, and Coach Ferris said it's more than he's had in 13 years here.
I think first a little nerve-wracking, but once we got everything set down in stone, it was a good thing, and I think that ever since all this happened, that we all are pretty comfortable with the changes and really comfortable with the coaches.
What's it been like at practice, though? New terminology, new coaches in different places?
The crazy thing is, it's kind of a lot like the terminology I used in high school, so it's kind of been a pretty easy transition for me. But I think for all the receivers and the running backs, it's a little more comfortable and a little more exciting. And you have, Coach Davis he's a very enthusiastic guy and makes everything fun. So practice has been pretty fun.
Have the routes changed? New look to everything?
I wouldn't say the routes has changed. I mean, you can't really change a lot of routes. I mean, a lot of people run the same type of routes. But I think more of the terminology is just the difficult part.
There was some talk last year that maybe things had gotten a little stale. Do you think you guys kind of needed a little infusion of some new blood?
I think that maybe like this is going to give us a little more oomph and a little more excitement, and I think a little changes is always good. So.
With Marvin graduating last week Coach Ferentz said this is an opportunity for you, the expectations to step up, so to speak. What have the coaches talked to you about your role being this season?
Just being a leader. Being the oldest guy, being the most experienced guy, you got to come out and be a leader and lead by example. Go out there and work just as hard as everybody, and know that the biggest point he said is this ends quick, so you got to do the best you can to get your skills and help everybody else while you're here. So.
Are you taking a different mentality and approach this year than you have in previous years?
I'd say so. I have to be a little more aggressive and try to become a great leader, and even try to become a better leader than what Marvin and anybody has been. That's what everybody needs to do, and I think Cavante is becoming a leader too himself. And it's just something you got to take, a role you have to take when you played the most and had the most experience.
You said improving your skills. What are some of the things that you're working on right now?
Everything. Mostly it's just confidence and ball control, all that type of stuff, routes, anything that can make me a better player.
Kid, you guys get in pads today. How excited is that for you? And what have you guys been kind of focusing on through spring practice so far?
Well, the first day in pads is always the funnest. Everybody's gonna be loud and excited, and there's gonna be a lot of stuff that we're gonna have to clean up after today's practice. Usually they always say linemen's pads are always high, ball security is a little rough, but it's it's always a day that you like to have, and the practices have been going pretty well, and so far it's just competition is always a big thing, and since we're really young, the competition is probably as stiff as it's probably been here.
Everybody talks about becoming a leader when you're a senior. How do you become a leader? You're already a leader. You were a leader of Washington and all the way through. How do you do it? Do you vocalize it? Is the way you walk, the way you act?
Really, it's not all about vocals. It's about doing it and going out every day and pretty much working your butt off. And that's how all the leaders came out. All the leaders that led me, Marvin, he never talked. He talked when he had to, but he was more of a guy that just went out and did it. And that's one of the biggest things about being a leader, is going out and doing it and showing the young guys that this is what you want to do and this is what you have to do.
One, two.
So how's the zone read going for you and all that stuff?
Haven't put that yet in. Today's day 3. Who knows? It might come today.
What's new for you out there with the new?
Well, it's just obviously a lot of new verbiage for a lot of people. I think Coach Davis summed it up the best when he said that we're not reinventing the wheel, we're just maybe doing a little different. So there's a lot of new terminology out there, a lot of different terms being thrown around at different positions. So keeps everybody on their toes.
What's some of an example of the new terminology? Anything in particular?
If you think about it from the very beginning, just formations are completely named different now. Protections are completely different. Combinations are completely different. So it's not like it's nothing we haven't ever seen, but it's just called something a little different now.
So you having to think a lot more while you're out there, having to think a lot more?
Right now, yeah, I think everybody is. I think it's kind of a learning process, but I also think it makes it really exciting. I think everybody likes the challenge, and it's something new, especially for us older guys. We've kind of had 4 years of an old system, so this is completely new for us. We feel like freshmen again a little bit. There's a lot of competition out there, and it's been a lot of fun so far.
So if fans are thinking there's going to be this, 5 wides and all that stuff, it's just different name for
Yeah, I mean, obviously we have a new play caller now, so he's going to have a little different style, but we're not going to be Texas Tech, I know that. Everything is called a little different, but I wouldn't see major 5-wide changes or zone read coming anytime soon.
James, you get excited when you think about the quarterbacks that Davis has worked with, Vince Young, Colt McCoy. Just talk about that a little bit and having that guy as your coach now.
No, yeah, it's a great opportunity for all of us in that quarterback room. I mean, knowing the guys, like you said, Vince Young, Colt McCoy, Major Applewhite, Gary Kubiak. I mean, he's coached a lot of really good quarterbacks, some Heisman winners, some Heisman runner-ups. He's had a lot of good players under him, and he's always been successful on the offense side of the ball. So I think it's a great opportunity for everybody on the offense.
You're a film freak. Are you more of a film freak now?
I think you guys noted me as a film freak. I don't ever recall saying that.
You said you like to watch film a lot.
Yeah, Stanzi did, and so that kind of rubbed off on me. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff to watch right now, just watching a lot of Texas film. Obviously, we have a lot of good cut-ups of them doing it the right way. Like you said, Vince Young, Colt McCoy. There's some Major Applewhite clips on there, just some random things they've done over the years that we're putting in now.
As your job, as your immediate, right now, has your job changed? How has your job changed?
Well, I think right now, I'm probably maybe a little farther ahead than some other guys on the offense, just having put in some time and having met with him a little early. But I'm just really trying to make sure I can bring everybody along, especially in that first group. I mean, James Ferentz does a great job with all those O-linemen, but it's my job to corral all those wide receivers, running backs, and make sure that we're all going in the same direction.
We have a lot of seniors, a lot of older guys on this team that are capable of doing that, and we'll do a good job of it.
Today's the first day in pads for you guys. What changes in practice in terms of intensity level or excitement or anything like that when you finally get to put pads on?
Well, we've had good intensity the last couple of practices, honestly. That was even without pads, but now we're gonna throw in the pads, and there's gonna be a lot more hitting and more contact, so it's gonna be way more physical. But that's gonna be fun. Like today's practice, the first day of pads is always fun, and what goes out there probably so it's gonna be exciting.
Mike, the last few years, as soon as that rolls by, the strength of this defense and the experience on this defense the last few years has seemed to be the line, and now it seems to be the backfield and the linebackers. Will that cause any adjustments or changes to the way you guys play defense, or do things for the most part stay the same? It's just the experience moves.
Honestly, you said the line, but Iowa football, have a foundation, and you're gonna put people in who can make plays, and if it is a secondary that's making plays, any given moment, that's good. The linebackers and the D line is definitely gonna step up. They're not a bunch of slobs on it. They're definitely gonna do good themselves. So just as a whole, our defense will pick it up and we'll be fine.
Well, to discuss maybe the tweaking of philosophy, before the defensive secondary, defensive backs kind of give a little cushion, the corners. Now will you play a little more press coverage? Will it be based on the talent you have?
I think we've definitely changed it up a little bit. We've definitely been more in the receivers' faces on any given play, and it's exciting, especially in practice, go against our receivers, the big physical guys. And it's fun just to talk smack and have a lot more press coverage and do that kind of thing. So as a DB, you want that, you want to compete. And as of right now, it's pretty fun.
Mike, at this time last year, you were going through at that point in time a position switch over to free safety, and you were playing that in the spring and started out the season there, and then switched to corner. Where did you take away from that experience last year that you feel is maybe going to help you now that you're just kind of back in the normal position of being a corner?
Well, the first thing is, just seeing the young guys make the same mistakes that I did last year with safety, and showing them what they got to do, be more patient, footwork, stuff like that. But just as a whole, just learn the defense as a whole. It's a different experience playing it from corner and then moving to safety, because at safety you got to know a lot more than what you do at corner. Honestly, corner, the safety pretty much tells them what to do every time. But now, as have that spring ball at free safety. It's taught me I got to know the whole defense, and on any given play, I can tell I can tell the safeties what to do, I can tell the linebackers what to do, because I just know the defense now.
Their role affects you. I think you'll be able to play faster and more confident.
James, today is your first day in pads. What changes in practice? Intensity, physicality? What's that first day in pads like?
Yeah, you just go down the list, and it's going to be a wake-up call for everybody. We haven't had pads on in however many months. So there'll be adjustment period, and it'll be messy, it'll be sloppy, and there'll be some fights and what have you. But that's part of the growing pains. That's part of spring ball. That's part of getting better.
You talked about taking it to the next level. How does all the off-season coaching changes? How does that affect your growth, if at all?
I guess I look at it this way. I learned many things from Coach Wilson. He was my position coach, and he's a great coach. But it's also different coaches bring different styles and different knowledge. Just people have different experiences. So maybe that there's something that Coach Woods brings that I'd never been exposed to, but wasn't aware of until he became my coach. So just little intricacies like that, and being exposed to new people and new ideas, can help take your game to the next level.
You grew up with the Hawks, and it was pretty stable among coaching, for almost your entire life. Did all of this change this summer or this spring surprise you?
Yeah, I think it caught a lot of people by surprise. If you're surprised, certainly not in a negative sense. I mean, change can sometimes be a good thing, and Coach Woods is a very competent coach, as are all the coaches that they've added and moved around. And I think we got a great group of coaches going forward. So, I think if anything, it makes us a better team.